Now we have Senator Elizabeth Warren making this call once again, but she's urging Biden to make it a top priority. She tweeted earlier today, and we have that tweet to put up on the screen for you can see it right there, saying that Biden and Harris can cancel billions of dollars in student loan debt, giving tens of millions of Americans an immediate financial boost and helping to close the racial wealth gap. This is the single most effective executive action available for a massive economic stimulus. So for more on this and the student loan debate, we want to bring in Yahoo Finance reporter Aarthi Swaminathan. And Aarthi, help us make sense of this, because when we take a look at Joe Biden's proposal or what he put forth during the campaign, it was a scaled down version of what we're getting from Elizabeth Warren. So what can we expect Biden to do over the next 4 years when it comes to student debt?
So that has been the question I've been chasing every single expert down. Are we getting $10,000, $50,000? So much confusion out there. So Elizabeth Warren, Bernie Sanders have tried to push for more aggressive debt cancellation, but Biden has said $10,000. Even that sort of seems a little bit difficult at this point. Just after we published the story, I got so many emails from people saying, how is this fair? So this issue of fairness keeps coming up. So we don't even have any indication from them. Experts are saying it's pretty easy for Biden to do this by appointing an education secretary who has apparently executive authority to just with the signature kind of cancel everything. But we have never really seen that before, so we don't know if the legality of that will play out. But it's really interesting. There's so much passion over doing something about this, but the numbers are just not adding up at this point. But we'll see. We're still waiting for responses from these groups.
What kind of impact do they think that would have? For instance, we kept hearing about the need for this because it's keeping these people from actively participating in the economy on things like buying a house. Is that going to be the argument going forward to do it?
So it's interesting. So if you just cancel $10,000 in debt, that affects people who haven't even been paying back their loans. A lot of people have defaulted on their student loans. So it could help these people free their, obligations and buy a home, or even just basic food and things like that. It could help them, especially during this period. But once you go up to $50,000 in cancellation, that helps teachers, doctors, people in high income brackets. So that could have a tax cut like stimulus. We haven't really seen comprehensive studies. Very difficult to isolate this effect, but it's really interesting. It really, again, goes back to the question of how much are we canceling, and that will, in effect, result in how much stimulus we get.
Aarthi, I feel like there's so many questions around student debt, and a lot of people are confused just what can happen, what can happen. And it's interesting because I know you're looking into a paper that aims to bust this myth out there that student loans are not dischargeable. Under what circumstances is that, or would that be the case?
Right, that's a really interesting thing. So currently everyone thinks student loan debt cannot be discharged in bankruptcy. This paper says that there's actually a way to do it. Nobody really knows about it. So it's just an issue of information dissemination. So it could, we could have a Congress pass a law and get this out to more people. And that's sort of what the paper is trying to argue, is that, lenders are exploiting the fact that nobody knows this is happening. We've started to do a lot more stories, and if anyone is interested in canceling the student loan debt, please research and figure out that this is something that is a real option. You don't have to go through the difficult discharge process that isn't really working at this point. But bankruptcy is emerging as a real option.